Should be live now. Are we live? It did a weird thing. It didn't want to... Yes, we're live. We are live. That's great. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. We're just kicking back. Let everyone get in the chat and stuff. Let Ellie take you away. Very, very nice. Yeah. With the chat box for once. Very nice. Nice to see everybody. Nice to have everybody a part of this stream. Yeah, I like the chat screen as well, man. It's a nice, I think it's a nice touch. Yeah. I didn't miss the Take On Me scene. We did the Take On Me scene. We played Take On Me. I sung along. You know, pretty sure people remember me singing along to Take On Me. Yeah, so today it's not about me. I think we'll go for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I'm not too sure. I can't really hear it. I can put my headphones on, I guess. Yeah, I can put my headphones on. I learned a fun fact about this song. It's not actually Johnny Cash's song. It's from the 9 Inch Nails guy who wrote it at like age 14, but he saved it until he was around 17 to release it. So the depth of this tune is so incredible when you think about it. I've messed up my hair by putting on my headphones. I mean, my hair always looks kind of messed up. Look at that. I've created a massive divide. That's worse. I'm not dropping bars. You could have it all. My empire. What a tune, though. What an actual tune. So yeah, today is completely about people getting your say, having your say across. Ellie did a Thanos move and sacrificed everything. Now she lives in a small hut in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I was getting Thanos vibes from her as well, very much so, yeah. What is the cost of revenge, you know? I think that's a very good theme for this whole series, I think, you know? Yeah, there's gonna be spoilers tonight, of course. This is our end game discussion today, man. Hey, everybody in the building. Hey, Dominic. Nice to see you again, man. Nice to see everybody. Does remind me a little bit of Logan. I mean, the first game reminded me a lot about Logan as well, man. But yeah, so today is more about you getting your opinions across. We will take 10 minutes just to sort of let things warm up, you know? Let things warm up. Oh, let things warm up, of course. I think I've got another cover here. I do have another cover here. So yeah, of course, respectable opinions, looking out for one another, of course. I think the best way I can lead this as well is we'll discuss different elements and we'll discuss things as it goes on, you know. We'll talk about very, very different things and stuff. And I think it's about having a concert. It's incredible that people are playing this, you know. It's incredible that people are playing this stuff just in the game. Yeah. I wish I had the skills and ability to do so, you know. But yeah. Joel don't deserve a game, he's weak. Yeah, hold on. hold back your opinions for 5 minutes or so. Let's just get everybody in the chat. We'll tackle all of the elements. I'll guide you through it, and we'll give people a little bit of time so I can actually read out what's being said as well, because at the moment you're throwing it through left, right, and center. So we're gonna focus this as much as we can. But yeah, of course, people are still just getting into this. We'll discuss near enough all of the elements to the game. I think we'll discuss firstly. I think the first thing we'll talk about is what the expectations were going into this game, because I think that's a very, very good place for us to start. I think it's very, very important that we sort of tackle this start to finish and stuff. But yes, don't worry, you will have all the time in the world to get your opinions across. So yeah, please just bear with us while we let people in. Just to know that you're... just listen to Ellie play the guitar for a second, man. She's really jamming right now. How awesome is that someone's playing this as well? First time catching me live? Okay, we don't want to watch... I don't even watch football. Why is that coming up? Okay, right. Well, I guess that's the start. So let's get this. I'm going to put this on a little... I'm going to put this on a loop. So we got some backing music going on here. I'm going to put the cutscenes on in the background, I believe. Put these cutscenes on in the background so we can actually start talking about the game. Thank you very, very much. Please do mind your language. I'm playing. Thank you very, very much. So yeah, I would say the first thing that we should discuss when it comes down to this is like, what were your expectations going into The Last of Us Part 2? I was in a very, very good situation, I had just played the first game, so for me, turn the music down a bit. It should be fine. It should be fine. It shouldn't be too... Is it too loud? Put it down like that. The music's louder than I am. It's very high. To me, it's... let me turn it off here. Here we go. Usually the music's never louder than me. Usually I'm very, very loud. So yeah, there we go. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hear me now! Right, okay, we are good then. We are good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for letting me know. I think that's a very, very good... I think it's a very good start then. I think we're in for a very, very good start. Please hold off. Please hold off talking about other games tonight. We'll talk about other games towards the end, I guess. But yeah, what were your expectations going into The Last of Us Part 2? What, like, ultimately, if you could get something from this game, like, before you knew about this game, what did you want from this game? I think that's a good starting point for everyone to talk about. Let's not talk about COVID and so on and so forth, please, people. I will time people out for being stupid tonight. I expected Joel to go out, but I expected a little bit of a better delivery. That's a fair enough choice. I think you could say that there was definitely major hints, regardless of leaks and stuff coming out. I think the way that they were focused on saying this is really Ellie's game kind of let us know that Joel may not be in the game so much, I wanted to see how Ellie would react to finding out the truth about her cure. Yeah, I think we all sort of knew that lie was going to come as well. Yep, Storm Guy, I think a lot of people really were expecting that we'd get to play Joel, but I think they really put across as well that they were going to, I think they really put across that this was going to be, Ellie's game, ultimately, I really think they did. Flashback at Ellie, let go. Hi, Q, man, just, bro. you're getting timed out for spamming, man. You've said that like 3 or 4 times now. I respect it, but like, no need to spam the chat. Everyone needs to get their opinions across. We're talking about elements into the game at this point in time. We're talking about bits and bits. I expected a very amazing story. I knew this game was going to be very dark and brutal, and I'm glad it was. That's very true. It was very, very dark and brutal. The response to the leaks made me cautious going into the game. Yeah, I think a lot of people were very cautious going into the game. You know, I let my curiosity guide me into the second one. 100%. Yeah, I think I was quite an open expectations, you know, really open expectations. Like, I had avoided all of the leaks, so I didn't have that in the back of my mind, you know. Yeah, I think avoiding leaks, like, Python's got it right. Trying to avoid the leaks was a very, very good way to approach it. Very high expectations because the first one was a story about love and it reopened Joel's heart. Yeah, that's it. And that's what I think a lot of people really were looking forward to, you know, going through more, was seeing how that love had developed. And I think they sort of definitely threw that back in our face by like opening it up with almost like an argument between the two, you know. I think 100%. Combat and graphics were incredible. Yeah. We're just talking about your expectations for the game at this point in time. We'll do the review once we get towards the end of this stuff, you know. But we're going to talk about individual elements a bit. I think that's the best way we can guide the chat through this, because if not, it's just going to have a lot of people being like, I love the game, I hated the game, I loved the game, I hated the game. Like, do you know what I mean? So let's of course, people repost the comments because they didn't think I read them. I know 100%, but please let's not spam it. I was really hoping that Ellie doesn't hate Joel for part 1 in the end, and she has a love for him, and I was happy that there was that at least. Yeah, I mean, they seem to have a fairly good relationship, and I think that was put across massively as far as the actual. I think it went across massively as far as, of course, like the guitar was kind of the house for that, you know. I think the guitar was like a really good way of getting that across because it showed the love being passed down and stuff. Visuals are just incredible. FB wanted a deep story and an emotional roller coaster. Well, I think you got it, my friend. I really think you got it. I was expecting great world building because honestly the world is the main star in the game and it delivered. I think that's a very, very good point to put across. Yeah, there are no main characters in a massive way, despite us getting to know a certain few characters. That's what I liked a lot about the first game as well. I can completely agree with you. It was more about the world than anything, you know. Teenagers are always angry with parents. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a very, very good point. I expected a powerful experience. I got that and even more. It felt so real towards a post-apocalyptic context. I think so. I think one thing that I didn't expect, personally, was that we were going to get, one thing I didn't think we were going to get. Wade Wilson, you're spamming, man. You're literally spamming. I can see you popping up. Why would I close it? This is a chat about everybody getting their opinions across at this point in time. So yeah, this is for everybody. This is for the people watching it back as an upload and stuff as well, so they can see what's being said as it goes. What I didn't expect, you expected a dodge button. I think, yeah, that was a great addition to the game. I think everyone expected Joel to die at some point in the game. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. I think the way they were pushing towards it being Ellie's story, the way that we saw developers talking about it as well, really let us know that the focus was going to be on Ellie quite heavily. But yeah, one thing I didn't expect completely was that we were going to get such thriving communities. You know, I did not think we'd have such thriving communities and massive cities and things like that with people really surviving. It kind of shows you that the end of the first game doesn't matter at all, you know? Not that it doesn't matter, but it just shows you, like, that people continue to live on. And I think that was a very good way of displaying that from the start with Jacksonville and then moving into Seattle and stuff. I kept my expectations low and staying away from the leaks helped my train of thought, because part 1 ended on a lie. Yeah, I think we all had a lot to go in. Like, we had a lot that we were thinking about. So, yeah, I tried to keep my expectations low as well, because I think we know that overall, that there was going to be a lot of expectation subversions. So no matter what you thought would happen was always going to change completely. Like, you know, no matter how well you think you get these stories sorted, it seems to chop and change completely. So yeah, please, we're just talking about expectations firstly. We'll get into what you think and feel about the game, but we are talking about what you wanted from the game to start off with. I think that's a very, very good place to talk, to start this chat off, please, you know? So please talk about what you wanted from the game. That's where we're at right now. That is what we are discussing. I expected more of an evolution in gameplay mechanics considering the console generation difference. Yeah, I think they really nailed that as well. I think we'll talk heavily about the mechanics in a bit, but I think that's something that everyone, you could see, like even when I played it, like, you know, for the first time this year, you could really see how they could build upon so much elements of the first game's game mechanics, and I really think that they delivered it. You know, I really think they done well to deliver it. So yeah, I think as far as expectations goes, if you didn't watch the leaks and stuff, I did not expect a romantic scene. Felt like walking in on your grandma. I mean, it was great storytelling at the same time, you know. It was great storytelling. To be honest, I didn't even want a sequel from The Last of Us, but turns out I was wrong. So yeah, this is a good situation to explain. You could have left that game as it was, and I don't think anyone would be mad with it as a standalone series. I think what would have been great in a weird way would maybe be if they completely just showed us someone else's story from across a different part of the world or something. That could have been cool too. I wanted more Joel gameplay, but it's okay. The game was great. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were overall hoping for Joel gameplay. I'm sure about that. I'm almost certain about that. And I was happy that we still got some. You know, even if it was just us being with Joel, I was happy we got some. People were expecting more Joel due to Naughty Dog's misdirection in advertising. That's fair. That is fair. I feel like they had to do some misdirection with their advertising once they knew leaks and stuff had got out. So yeah, I think you can't be too mad at them having to sort of like play with what we thought of the game a little bit, you know, because like they had to do a lot of like damage control to keep people excited and stuff. I expected a powerful experience, and it was. Yeah, I think they done a very, very good job. I think they did a very, very good job with what they done. They put it across in a very, very good manner, and yeah, yet again, it was a powerful experience. So I think that's enough about expectations, because there's clearly loads of people that just want to get their opinion across or on a channel and stuff. I wanted difference in the two games, because the first game but loads of characters and made the franchise expand. Yeah, 100%. I don't know if a lot of people know, is it World War Z? World War Z as a movie just followed like one person's storyline, you know, as opposed to like the actual books and stuff that just had loads of extracts from people across the world in a zombie apocalypse. I think that's sort of like a really good way that you could approach maybe Last of Us 3, you know, or like, you know, they could have done it for this game, ultimately, you know. So yeah, I think that's a very, very good enough point. You have to understand, like, I've got to try and mediate this. Like, I've got to try and mediate this in some shape or form. If everybody just spams what they thought, I cannot respond to it or read it out, okay? So if we're talking expectations, please give your expectations. When I say, what did you think of it? That's when we'll get into it, right? Right now we're talking about the start of it, right? We're talking about the start. And I think one good thing to talk about it, the actual way that they introduced us all to it, as we're seeing right here, is what did you think of Jacksonville as a community? I feel like we didn't get to see enough of Jacksonville. I really don't think like we saw enough of Jacksonville, and I think that there's room to completely revisit it. But what do you think? Should we slow mode the chat to 30 seconds? That might actually be a very, very good that might be a very good call at this point in time, because we're in sort of we're in a difficult situation here. People are just we're gonna up it. I'll up it to like 15 seconds if we have to do it more. But it is, I've got to be able to get across what people are saying as well. So yeah, how did you feel seeing Jacksonville for the first time? Was it a surprise to you? Was it a surprise to you to find Joel and Ellie in such a sort of thriving town? You know, I really didn't. I really didn't expect them to sort of be in such a good community. I don't know why. It just didn't feel like that at all in the first game, you know. Didn't feel like that in the first game at all. So I'm going to give you some time to get your thoughts across about how the opening of the game was for you. Did you enjoy it? Did you feel like there was a little bit of agenda pushing and stuff, you know? Did you feel like they really needed to clarify Ellie's situation as far as her, like, you know, her relationships go and stuff? There was a lot, I feel like there was a lot of focus in this game. Not in a bad way or anything, but I think love was a really big part of this in a different way to the first game. The first game felt about family, like, you know, you don't get to choose your family kind of situation, you know? There was more father-daughter than I expected. This game is pretty much a masterpiece. It's not a masterpiece, but it's not a shit game. That's not what we're talking about, but thank you. Didn't explore the town too well. No, I didn't feel like that we got through the town at all, really. We didn't really get to see Jacksonville. First game said Jacksonville had 40 families. That's a very good point. We didn't actually get to see them. That's a very good point, actually. And they were only out at the actual, as someone's pointed out here, they were at the hydro plant trying to get it up and running again, weren't they? So those are very good points as well. Opening of the game made you a bit sleepy. In my opinion, I loved the community. It was like Joel and Ellie had a second chance to live a normal life again, but in the end, that's not what happened. That's very, very true. I think it was very refreshing to see. Like, it was very nice to see Joel's house, and it was a very nice house, wasn't it? It was a very nice house. I think they did a good job of showing us how living in a community kind of made Joel and Ellie soft in a way. People didn't really understand why Joel was so quick to trust Abby. That's a very, very good point, you know. That is actually a very, very good point. We should have been able to go into the buildings and interact with more people. That's valid. That's completely valid as well. I completely agree with you. There should have been an open area in Jacksonville, same as the beginning of Seattle. Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that as well. Jackson's security was not that good on background checks, like, since Abby got in. She didn't fully get in, did she? But yeah, they definitely should have had more of an approach to make sure how they got you know, like, Joel was very trusting. That's a very good point. But I like that point about how they kind of grown soft in a time of peace, in a way, you know? Yeah, so I think Jacksonville was a good approach. Like, this scene that we've got on screen here, I wasn't even mad at the snowball fight, because it sort of, like, Joel's house showed off his craftsmanship, and it adds to his character. Yeah, it really did. It really did. It actually really, really did. They weren't hunters, that's why Joel trusted them. They were finding more people to join Jacksonville. That's very, very true. But yeah, like, I wasn't mad at all at the, like, snowball scene and stuff, because that kind of made you, that kind of reminded you of the game mechanics and stuff in a very, very good way, you know? I think it worked very, very well. Trust in Abby had everything to do with hordes descending on them in the storm. Weather was horrific, horses were tired, options were limited. That's true as well. They were really, they were in a tough spot, and she seemed like someone that was handing out help, you know? Haven't finished the game, but you're loving it so far. That's very, very good to hear. Funny at the same time, the game felt flat like the first one, but totally different. Go look at Joel's house again. The art is incredible. I will. I'm really looking forward to just going around the game now that you don't play it with a story-driven mindset. I think it's very, very good that we can actually go and have a look at all of the detail in this game, which I'm sure a lot of people have been doing that. I, for one, am looking forward to so much just being able to use the you know, being able to use the photo mode quite heavily. I like how Bill told Joel that caring for someone is good for one thing, getting yourself killed. And then Joel's decision to save Ellie because he killed... That's a very good point. That is a very good point. And again, it ties into this sort of, like, growing soft in a time of peace, you know? When there's no war on and stuff, it's very easy to get relaxed and complacent and trusting. The beginning was great. The snowball scene made me think of Uncharted 4, where you play with the Nerf gun. We played with, like, a bow and arrow later on, like a kind of like a squidgy bow and arrow and stuff later on, didn't we? That was very, very good as well. R.I.P. Shimmer, yeah, R.I.P. Shimmer, Callus, and about the other 70 horses I shot in my gameplay. There was a lot of horse shooting going on, man. There was a lot of... I can't be responsible for that, though, you know? Because at the same time, the game told me to kill horses off. Like, I was just going by the game's rules, not my rules, you know? So yeah, how did you feel about the introduction of Abby so early? Seeing as we got this on screen, I think this is a very, very good, well, there's a great answer. I like that we got to play as Abby and Ellie in the beginning, since it kind of built up to the rest of the game where we play as both. That's very, 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 very true. I felt like it was a weird call in a weird way, a little bit, you know, how they just decided to introduce Abby at this point. I feel like you could have even done the game all leading up to Joel's death in a weird way as well, but I don't know, like, you know, it would have been almost great to just throw us in as Abby and get us to play through loads of stuff, and then you realize that she's actually the one that killed Joel, and then you sort of play from Ellie's perspective further down the line, but, you know, it is what it was. I thought at first it was Ellie's mother, and it was in the past. That would have been a very good take as well, wouldn't it? That would have been good. I think location wise you can sort of tell they're in a similar location, but I like that as well. They don't say Abby's not a girl. Abby's clearly a girl. She's a woman. She's a strong woman. She's Amazonian, you know? Technically Abby killed most of the horses. She did, not really me. I didn't like Abby at the beginning. Yeah, you didn't like her at the beginning, but she became very likable after. I heard Abby was built by Kratos. You thought Abby's... So there we go. We had a fair few people who thought Abby was Ellie's mother. That would have been a good way to take the story as well. The intro as Abby was very cool, was very unexpected, as Naughty Dog always does. Yeah. The game had loads of characters and we lost most. That's true as well. I feel like there was a lot of people that we could like. There's a lot of people that we could have explored more. I feel like Jesse and stuff was a very, very, very good addition to the game. Joel didn't give his name to Abby. Tommy gave Joel's name to Abby, and Abby was led. And Abby's lead was. That's where she found Tommy lived. Even if Joel didn't give up his name, Abby was ready to take Joel. Yeah, that's very true. I feel like lots of many talents and many amazing art forced into shape by what very well may be too big an ego. I'm not happy with the story. That's fair play. We're just talking about the introduction of Abby at this point in time. We're going to get into more general stuff as well, and I'm going to have to just sort of mediate. How'd you get through the dogs? Did you kill any of them? I mean, yeah, I did. Abby's story was way more sympathetic than Ellie's. In a lot of ways, it kind of was. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't mad at the introduction of Abby at all. I feel like the structure and pacing of it was a bit difficult to follow at times. Not to follow, but I just think, like, you know, the way they put this across was a bit weird. Abby's voice actor, Laura Bailey, is incredible. Yep, she done a very, very good approach to it. Joel and Tommy were relaxed after 4 or 5 years of relatively comfortable life. That's what Neil said as well. Yeah, of course. And of course, they're always looking to recruit more people into the community and stuff like that, I think, which is like a very good way to approach it, you know? I like playing as both Abby and Ellie. Yeah, of course. I think you're meant to eventually, you know? I think you were meant to. Because the story progressed and they have a lot of similarities. Even Abby and Joel had some cinematic parallels to each other. Yeah, I mean, they really put you in that, where they had like her moving around the town with a younger person. Like, you know, it had a lot of parallels to the first game. Of course, I think this is a good point to talk about. Just being raised here by future drama as well. Abby transformed her body in order to have a physical advantage when it came to fighting Joel. How extremely buff she was shows how obsessed she was with finding him. That's a very, very good point as well. That's actually a very, very good point. Again, both sides of it. A lot of this story, right, is about revenge, you know, and you can see the effect it had on Abby and so on and so forth. She was obsessed. Kind of felt like, see, people are going in now. Kind of felt like they could have switched Abby's backstory at the very beginning. It would have worked better to see. Yeah, I think I think that would have been a very good call as well. I would have liked to have almost started the game at the end of the last game, right? With the doctor being shot and then Abby being the daughter of that doctor and stuff. I think that would have instantly put you in Abby's shoes a lot better from the get-go. But with that being said, I think I can completely agree with all of these points overall. When you kept throwing Abby off cliffs on accident, I couldn't breathe. Like, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. A little bit my fault. I was a little bit annoyed. You know, I kind of wanted to see her die a little bit, but not by the end. Not by the end. I didn't want to see her die. I think now is a very good time to talk about this. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Joel's death. Joel's death. Everybody, we're talking about Joel's death right here, you know? We're talking about Joel's death, which hit me hard. Hit me very, very hard. Yep, Abby is a little bit like Ronda Rousey, man. I'm probably a better fighter than Ronda Rousey. Let's be honest, man. Let's discuss it, because this hit me hard at the start of the game. And I think that's the point, man. They really wanted to hit home with what they did. Name a game death that's hit you harder than that. Let's be real. Let's be real. Like, Joel's death hit different, man. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I love the game, but Joel's death didn't have the impact that it deserved because I was thinking about that scene. I bawled my eyes out when Joel died. Yeah, I mean, I was close, but I was horrified. I was horrified. It's more of the case. Like like did anyone else go through like all of the signs of like of the mourning process? Like, you know, like I was mourning as we played through the rest of that gameplay, man. Joel's death was horrible to watch, but it did its job. It's meant to make you mad. Yes, it did. Joel's death was way too early. All the flashbacks were at the beginning. Joel's death in the middle would have been more of an emotional impact. Yeah, see, I agree with that. I do. I agree with you on that. I kind of feel like they could have left it later. They could have built up to it more. But at the same time, it's unexpected. They knew in the back of our minds we thought it might happen, and it hit us hard. So yeah, Joel's death, since his daughter died, Ellie kept him alive. Yeah, that's true. Joel and Tommy knew the area, but Abby followed to suggestion to go to the hideout. Yep. I'm great with his death because we all kind of knew it, but in my opinion, they could have done it better. The way they keep using it, yeah, I was in denial, man. I was in denial. I was completely in denial about it happening. And that's one of the stages of grief, isn't it? And mourning. You had to take a long break because you couldn't continue. I can completely empathize with that, man. It completely knocks the whole wind out of your sails, man. You didn't feel for Joel very much. The fact that he lied to Ellie in the first game gave it a bit of taste in your mouth. Yeah, I know, but it was one of those, like, it was a tough lie. Everyone was lying to Ellie in some shape or form, potentially, man. She only realized she was gonna die later on, you know. The early death added to the feeling of senselessness. Yeah, senselessness. That's a very good point as well. It was like watching the Negan scene all over again. It really was, man. It really was. If Joel's death was drawn out, it takes away from Abby's story. But again, they could have maybe put a lot more of Abby's story in before Joel's death, so you empathize with her in that situation, I feel like, you know. Abby's death was okay about Ellie dying. That's a very, very good point as well. Like, at least Joel is with Sarah. That's a very good way of looking at it as well. Very, very good way of looking at it. I like that a lot. It was good because I never thought they'd have us playing as Joel's killer, which was a great surprise. Yeah, completely. Like, and that's what it does, man. It is one of the most shocking moments in a video game. Like, 100%. 100%. Joel did lie to Ellie's face, and I'm glad we get to see that play out in this game as well. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like they could have made a cure without killing her as well. I completely do agree like that. Deaths in this game and deaths in the first game are so shocking. Henry, Sam, Tess, all in the first game. Joel, Jesse, Tommy. Yeah, it's very true. Although Tommy lives. Again, what I like so much about this was there was great mirror imagery. This game got me depressed. Yeah, man, bro, I didn't cry on stream. I had a couple tears in my eyes when we completed it yesterday, but I'll be real with you, man. I cried more today. like little shit. I've been watching a bunch of different shows and just stupid family shit. I just keep thinking about Joel, man, and it just gets me teared up again, man. It's fucked. It's absolutely fucked, man. They make you think about life heavily. You know? Joel wasn't scared of death when it was his time to go. This is a very good point. Abby's dad didn't want to kill Ellie, but he knew that he had to. That's very, very true as well. It's sad to say, but Joel needed to die. He knew that he did so that... he knew what he did, so he knew that he could die. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there is that, like, underlying thing as well. Like, people, let's not forget, Joel's daughter died for no reason, so people bashing him for being heartless, maybe because his daughter died. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, this is it. There's so much elements to this, all of this game, that really, there's no right or wrong, is there? There is no right or wrong. I think that's the lesson that they try and teach you. At the end of the day, survival is survival, you know? And a massive part of survival is life, like, is being able to keep going and finding reasons to keep going and stuff. And if that means keeping someone in your life, like, do you know what I mean? And like giving, like, the worst thing about it, right, is Ellie wanted her life to matter, but her life it did matter. Of course it mattered. It already mattered. It mattered to the people around her and stuff. And I think that's what Jacksonville really highlights well. If Joel died later in the game, there would be more shock for people. Yeah, I feel like it. Like I feel like you could have done this a bit more tale of two sides of a coin kind of thing, you know? Would be cool if we got some game later where Ellie rolls off after learning what Joel did and then meets up with Abby and they both become friends and you play as both. Then Abby learns about Joel after she goes after him. That, like, you know, that's what I mean. There was ways that you could skin this cat, you know? Ways that you could skin this cat completely. Tommy's view of the room means that he would have seen Abby get the shotgun and done something. Plot hole. Kind of true. I didn't think about that. We'll see it again. I'm sure it's coming up. I never expected Joel's death. I think a lot of us didn't. Like, you can't compare Joel's daughter's death scene with Joel's death scene. It's like Bambi and the Lion King. True. That'd be great if this was all a dream. I wanted, do you know, like, as we got towards the end, I was like, this is a dream, right? This is completely a dream. But it wasn't a dream, man. But it kind of was a dream. The end kind of was a dream in its own way. I gotta say, I did not expect new characters. Well, I think, as I said in my first review, this game shows you enough of each person from a perspective that makes you still feel in the head of the person you're playing as. Like, you know, like, you don't get to know anyone that well, but you get to know enough of them to sort of make your mind up and stuff. People also forget that this is a changed Joel, more peaceful Joel after 4 years of being loved by people in Jacksonville. Joel also saved Abby, so there's no reason to suspect her. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, it's very, very sort of like an approach. I found this game to be the Empire Strikes Back of the series. It doesn't leave people in a good place, but we have another game coming that will be about redemption. Potentially. I can't see where they'd go with this game at this point in time. This is the most movie-like game that exists to date. There's no comparison to other story-drivens. The acting and story are spot on. Yeah, well, I think we kind of knew it was coming to that point, you know? Big hole for me is Abby and her cold-blooded killers sparing Tommy and Ellie's life. But it wasn't about them. It was about one person. And I think this is something that people really need to, like, understand quite heavily with this game. It's like, they try and paint Abby out to be kind of a dickhead and stuff, but she was just as much a victim of her revenge story as Ellie is, you know? Tommy and Joel's backpacks and weaponry mysteriously go when they're through the garage doors. Watch the cutscene. I mean, it should be coming up. If Joel became more peaceful after the 4 years, then the story needs to show how this happened. Poor storytelling. I wouldn't say that. I think you can see that. You can see, like, from stuff like the guitar lessons and, like, the way that they had this connection, like, building and stuff. Like, they had a lot of time, where you know, you could see that he'd become a lot more chilled. If they do a part 3, it should follow new characters entirely. Yeah, I think that's a big possibility for how they can do this. I still can't believe Joel is dead. It just hurts to have the truth. Yeah, sometimes people can't handle the truth, man, and it's tough. Like, that's what I mean. Abby's friends aren't heartless. Yeah, exactly. It was about killing Joel, like Joel killing the Fireflies. It's about Joel killing Abby's dad. That's what it's about, man. That's the whole point. It's her revenge story as well. Joel's house shows how he changed. Exactly. There's loads of signs. The fact that he went from being so grumpy and whatever in the first game to teaching Ellie how to swim, taking her to the museum, teaching her how to play guitar. There was loads of stuff, I think, in that worked really well. Joel didn't have a woman, poor Joel, that's true, but also, you know, he was sort of, like, he'd lived that life before, you know, and he didn't want to, like, he's one of those people that didn't want to, like, overlook the memory, I guess. I think I don't think that, you know, I don't think that was a really bad thing. I think that just kind of shows you how he's still sort of reserved in many aspects of his life. Even Oregon, because she actually lost her father because of Joel, and he was a civilian, a medical doctor. Joel was Ellie's adopted father. Both have losses, but Abby's was far worse. Yeah, to a degree, but it feels like Ellie didn't even know her father. Yeah, Joel was turning back into a dad. This is what I mean. Losing a child is harder than losing a parent, in my opinion. To some degree, yeah, 100%. Like, you don't expect to outlive your children. Like, that's an age-old saying, you know. I don't think this game is about revenge, it's about forgiveness. I think those two things go hand in hand. You know, I think those things go completely hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. You can't learn to forgive until you've had that anger at someone. Joel had a girlfriend, at first Joel had a girlfriend named Esther, but they scrapped it. Fair enough, completely fair enough. That's probably for the best, you know. It would have been nice to show how he's moved on, but still. Joel's murderers killed him because he killed one guy who might have developed a vaccine, so Joel destroyed their hope in their eyes. Yeah, 100%. Joel obviously didn't know Abby and was being, and that being her dead, you can't blame Joel at all. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a lot. You can't blame Joel for, like, wanting to see the good in people, because he was finally starting to see the good in people again, you know. So I really think it was a tough situation. Like, I think it was a very tough situation. We can all be like, that's not the Joel I know and stuff, but that's part of the point, you know. Ellie didn't eat a single thing in the entire game. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. She had some little snack bars and stuff, like, didn't she? She had a couple snack bars and stuff. They wouldn't even let Joel see Ellie before they were gonna go, so I mean, he kind of deserved it. R.I.P. Joel, exactly. I think that's one of the things that we can all agree on. I thought Joel died on bad terms with Ellie till the last cutscene. The music got me then. Yeah, that's really what got me teared up as well at the end, was that final cutscene. Because they done it in a very good way. We're coming up to 40 minutes. I think we've spoken enough about Joel's death at this point in time. I'm going to give you 20 minutes free reign while I think of some other... While we get towards the end and stuff. But I'm going to give you 20 minutes free reign to just get your points across and stuff. So yeah. I guess Seattle would be a good point as well. How do you feel this game benefited massively from being on the PS4 as opposed to the PS3, for having 7 years to work on a game like this and think about where you wanted to go? Yeah, some of those health packs and stuff are food. So much opening of drawers in this game. Yeah, I mean, so much. And I said something earlier, right? I said it when we were playing through it and stuff as well. Like, it would have been great if we could have had more ways to explore things, you know. I think that would have been a very, very good way of doing it. Like, it was nice. Bam Lam, your glasses look nice. Okay, Kent's just trolling at this point, but thank you very much, I guess. Naughty Dog smashed it in Myers. Yeah, lived in Seattle. It was a very nice interpretation. That's good to know. I wanted to know from people that have been in Seattle and stuff. Was it cool playing in a place that you could be familiar with? One of the most beautiful games ever made. Yes. I think that's something that gets overlooked so much, and that's why I want to just go back in my story, like in story mode and stuff, and just get my photo mode on, because like this game looks so good that you overlook how good it looks at most points in the game. Does that make sense? Still live in Puget Sound. Is that in Seattle? I'm not too sure. My friend hasn't even played The Last of Us, and when he played both, I expect him to be sad. Yeah, as sad as I am. Yeah, 100%. This is great contender for Game of the Year 2020. I totally loved the story and ending. Did you feel The Infected was scarier than Part 1? No, I felt The Infected was scarier in Part 1. I feel like at this point, as I said before, there was a lot of times, right, where you could 100%, you 100% could have actually, like, I'm trying to think how you put this across. I've lost it. The thought's gone. There's so much things coming at me. It's hard to stay on top of it. No, that's it, right. There's 100% times where you felt like just so confident because you dealt with the infected and stuff. And I said it in the first game as well. The focus wasn't so much on the infected, you know? Ellie walking through the empty house at the end is realizing the cost of the life she had, and realizing Joel had a full life and full house because he is old and the world knows forgiveness and stuff. Yeah, 100%. Seattle is really nice designed in the game. There are videos comparing real world to the game's world. And the thing is, they also have to accommodate for 20 years of like apocalyptic weathering on the city, you know, and I think they do that very, very well. There's so much stuff in every room and everywhere you look that looks very, very good. Someone said from the beginning of the stream you've spoken over 10,000 words now. Talking machine. That's what I'm here to do, man. I'm meant to just be the mouthpiece for all of you lot, you know. Abby should have listened to Arthur Morgan's Vengeance is an Idiot game. It got all of her friends killed, and almost the same for Ellie, of course. Yeah, I think Dina did go back to Jacksonville. That would make a lot of sense. Jesse's parents were there, of course, so they'd want to see their grandchild and stuff. I felt like The Infected was scary in Part 2, especially the stalkers, shamblers, and bloaters. A little bit. I feel like it was just... Do you know what? I hope people don't get mad at me for saying this, right? But, like, do you not think it was a little bit more Gears of War-y? Like, just a little... Like, that final fight, yeah, with the big old Rat King or whatever you call him. That was, like, straight out of a Gears of War scene, you know? And that's something I think this game does very, very well. They take a lot of familiar titles and just shit on them completely. They're like, oh, you like horse riding, yeah? And gunfights, yeah? On horses, right? Fuck you, Red Dead. Oh, you like big old monsters that smash through walls and do all of this, yeah? Fuck you, Gears of War. Oh, you like throwing snowballs and stuff. Fuck you, SS Tricky from back in the day. And so, like, do you know what I mean? I just feel like there was a lot of stuff which was like just shitting on every other game that's ever existed, you know, across the board. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like there was they were like, oh, you like going into a fight, right? Yeah, sprinkle of Metal Gear. You like going into a fight where some young boy has your back with a bow and arrow? Fuck you, God of War. We've got our own version of Atreus. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of stuff like that, man. There was a lot of stuff like that. But not in a bad way at all. Just really flexing on a generation of games, you know? Really flexing on a generation of games, in my opinion. There's no good people in the Last of Us world. They do what they want to survive, period. Exactly. Yeah, Resident Evil 2 remake vibes with Abby in the ICU section. This is what I mean, you know? You've always been a PlayStation, so you don't understand Gears of War. If anyone's played Gears of War, you know what I mean about some of the, like, the more boss fighty kind of things. Like, the bodies that exploded into chunks from explosives are so gross. Yep, I mean, we could talk about the violence and stuff. Like, we can talk about the violence completely, like... The Last of Us Part 2 was amazing. It was amazing. To me, Tommy lost the most in the end. In his own way. I don't know. Ellie lost the most. Like, do you know what I mean? And bam, you played the first one, so you're familiar with the game. If you play the first one again, you won't think it's more scary than the second one. That could be true, but like based on, you know, like the boss fights are really good compared to the first. Yeah, they are completely, like, do you know what I mean? They really are completely. Yeah, I've played Gears, you got a point. Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, there was something very... I was ready to just pop out the chainsaw on that Rat King, you know what I'm saying? Just chop him into bits and stuff. So yeah, there was some really good stuff. Breakdance is the dislocated penis. I don't want to see a dislocated penis breakdancing anywhere, my friend. Yeah. R.I.P. the dogs that were killed in the game. Tommy lost himself, that's true, but Ellie almost lost herself completely and lost everything. You couldn't have got this experience from Xbox games, that's very, very true. Many people that have this game must have empathy problems, 100%, but many of the people that probably hate this game, I say the clickers were tense as their noise were amped up. Yeah, that's true, that is true. So what rating did I give this game? I think we've been over that. How does he, because he didn't get shot in the head. If you look at his face, it caught the side of his face. That's why his face is all messed up, man. It skimmed him. It didn't actually hit him properly, but the way they left it, yeah, Ellie was the scariest boss in the game. What I loved about Ellie being a boss fight in this game is she knows, as I was screaming at the screen, she knows everything. She knows everything. Tommy was blind from an eye. Yeah, it's a metaphor for revenge, 100%. You know the saying, man, an eye for an eye will make the whole world blind, and I think that's something that they really put across in this game massively. That's a great point to point out right there, like, you know what I mean? It messed up his eye, which took away his sniper capabilities, and he was going sick. He was going sick with the sniper in that, man. Yeah, this is a spoiler central. This is a spoiler central talk right here. And Ellie losing her fingers is her blindness. Yeah, that's true, because she can't play guitar, which was her last real connection to Joel. That's a very, very good point as well. I'm loving this. Some people are putting across some very, very good points in this, man. And this is why I wanted to do this and hear what you have to say. A sad story is totally different from a bad story. I thought Tommy was dead and I was happy he didn't die. Same here, but at the same time, they didn't let you think about if Tommy was dead ultimately, because you get thrown into that big old boss fight, you know? Ellie's mind killed me during one of the action. Ellie's mind's killed me multiple times, don't you worry. Nobody, I think if anyone wants to feel good about that whole fight there, then you could literally go back and watch me fail to kill Ellie multiple times in that first thing, or fight her and stuff. Yeah, imagine if Ellie had gone with Jesse. That's something that I do want to talk about. Not a fair bit, but a little bit, right? I don't think this game would have suffered from having almost multiple endings. You know, I know they wanted to tell us just one story. Druckmann was right when he said you have to play this start to finish to appreciate and understand it. Yeah, 100%. But that's what a good story is. You can't cut out from one chapter and give up on it. You know. Hi Gail, I hope you're doing well. Tommy did extremely well to make his way home after being shot. Yeah, 100%. You can go into Ellie's journal at different points. She can't draw Joel's eyes, but once she forgives him and lets go to revenge the last time in the house she drew Joel with eyes. That's a really interesting point. There's a lot that I need to go back and really take in. But I wouldn't have been mad. Yeah, 100% wouldn't have been mad. They wanted one ending because of the next game. Yeah, that's fair enough, but I feel like it would have been great to have multiple options, you know? You have the definitive ending, then you can play through it and have multiple, like, alternative endings. I think that would have been a very, very good way to approach this game. I think they would have pulled it off perfectly. I cried for 10 minutes after I finished the game. Bro, we all did, man. We all did. After I switched off the stream, I was very emotional. Very emotional, and I've been very emotional all day, all damn day. They should have optional choice. The last one should have optional choice if they come out with another one. Yeah, that's what I mean. No, I disagree with choice. This is Ellie's story, not yours or mine. This isn't a game like that. But no, this is what I'm saying. You could have played through the definitive game, and they could have given you alternative endings. Like, it would have been great to see how it would play out if Ellie had gone with Jesse, you know? Like, I feel like there would be a really interesting way to go back and play through this game and see what other endings they could have had in mind for it. I don't think that would have taken away from it. Like, what would have happened if Abby had just killed Ellie in the theater and stuff like that, you know? What would have happened? I think there's a lot of what ifs in that situation and stuff, like, you know? So overall, I think that would have appeased a lot of people, and you still would have had your definitive ending regardless. But yeah, that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, once you get to the point of the game, it would have been nice to be able to try things in a different way, you know? I think it would have been very, very nice to see it. Like, you know, to be able to go back and play it from Tommy's perspective, you know? Like, things like that would be really cool. And it wouldn't take away from the end of the story, like, you know what I mean? With alternate endings, I feel like this game would have been in development for 10 years. That's a good point as well, yeah. Sometimes, that's a very good point. Ellie is not the main protagonist. Abby is the one with the redemption arc and story. Like, yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Near ultimate style endings, once the ending is found, it puts you back so you can have the other option. Like, yeah, this is what I mean. I think it would have been a cool thing to explore at least, you know? The fact that the story is very divided, I think it's fair to say it falls somewhere in the middle. To be a 10 out of 10 game, it needs to be all agreed. No, I don't agree with that completely. I feel like the fact that we are divided is just a testament to the story they were trying to create, you know? Completely. No one got a happy ending. Is this the Joker movie? I really don't know. I hope part 3 won't continue Abby's story. I don't know about that. Abby should have died at the end, but she shouldn't have. I really don't think she should have had. I feel like the whole point is you played through it to realize that maybe she shouldn't have, you know? And if you watch my playthrough, like, you know what I mean? Red Dead 2 had different endings depending on playstyle. See, that's what I mean. I can't say this is definitely a masterpiece. It's not for everyone. Yeah, but you can completely disagree with me. Like, this is the whole point. Like, I just think that it's like, you know, it's a testament to the fact that everyone's still talking about this game ahead of time, after it, and things like that. I think that it's very, very good that it's divided people. I think that's what a good story does. I think it lets people draw their own conclusions, and whether that be something you like or something you didn't, that's what the story has made you feel. And that's the whole point in this game. It makes you feel, it makes you think, it makes you decide stuff for yourself. Also, Joel's death, Tommy, his blood, he suffers with it, he can't deal with it. I'm in their shoes in an infection. Of course, you're the hero in your own story, so I would still get my revenge. Like, already killed so many for what? That's true. Abby made it to the Fireflies. It's possible the next game, Abby and Levi tracking and trying to find Ellie to bring her to make a cure, which is Ellie's redemption arc. That's actually a very good point. There will be no DLC, which is why we're doing a discussion stream as well. I hope they don't rush this game out at all. I think you know what I want from a part 3. I think you know. I personally would love a okay, no, this is what I'd love, right? This is what I'd love. If everyone had chosen their own ending, no one would care about this game after day 1. 100%. I'm sure we'll have a DLC with more background story, maybe with Tommy. That's a good point. See, aren't some of the best and praise things in the media divisive? Yeah, exactly. 100%. I really do want to get more of these read out and be able to react to some of these. Like, can I crank it up to 20 on the old slow chat so we can actually get some... So I can read some of these out without them disappearing so quickly and stuff. I've never switched my hate to care to someone in any other game like I did with Abby. I'm with you. I'm completely with you. Completely with you. And yeah, Naughty Dog have said no DLC, but here's what I feel like. I would love, right, for them to go, we're not gonna give you The Last of Us Part 3 just yet. You know? What we're going to do is we're going to give you a segue game that goes into the 20-year gap. I really, really, really would love to see a game that focuses on Joel, Tommy, and the split between them and why they fell out. You know? I would love to see that before we get into a part 3. It gives them more time to think about where they want to go with part 3. MBK in the building. Should have options for the non-lethal takedowns on NPCs. Abby and Ellie ruthlessly killed 100 people between all of them, yet the story says violence is bad. That's a very good point. God damn, I slowed this to 20 seconds and it's still just not enough to make it slow, is it? They were right to do it in the way that they did, and if they wrote it in a way we all wished for, it'd still be good, but I don't think it'd have nearly half the impact. Harsh but effective, best way to get the story across. Yeah, I completely think that would be good, and it's true. Like, I'm not mad at the fact that we didn't have multiple choice. I just feel like it would be great. Like, you know what I mean? I think it would have been great for them to really explore the history. Maybe the HBO series will explore the history better than they have in the thing, you know? Maybe we'll see more of the 20-year gap in the HBO series, and maybe Ellie comes in season 2. How great would that be, you know? That would be a really good way of us getting a lot more Joel in a situation without it ruining what the stories are and stuff like that. You can 100% stealth the game, so how Ellie kills NPCs really doesn't affect the story. That's true. You don't have to kill everyone. That's not a choice at all. Abby lacks empathy. I don't think she lacks empathy at all. She's completely driven by her ambition and her revenge story. I don't know how long I can recover from this game. This is the worst part of 2020 for me. I mean, in this world as well. Little things like Ellie putting her hood up, Joel raising his hand to block the sun. Yes, I was a massive fan. A massive fan of the animations. The first one I really clocked onto was as we were riding the horse, there was like a branch or something like that, and it was like Joel ducked just a little bit to make sure his head didn't hit, and I was like, okay, they've really thought about how you interact with the environment and things like that, you know. Apart from witnesses Bam's journey, I really enjoyed when Bam not alived Abby a dozen times in different ways in a minute. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You skip every one of mine. Thanks, Bam. I'm trying my best to get through what everyone's saying here. It's difficult. I think there should have been a choice at the end where you can kill Abby or let her live. But again, that takes it away. I agree, but that takes it away with you. I think you should watch. I think it interests you to watch the Kind of Funny Games with Neil Druckmann. Yeah, there's a few things with Neil Druckmann that people are telling me to look into and stuff. Abby was going to kill a pregnant girl without hesitation, only for someone she just met to stop her. Yes, but she had just watched someone that even though Mel was a dick to her, she considered Mel quite a friend, and Mel had just been killed as well. So why would she care about someone that's pregnant, you know? The animation on Abby's face when Joel says his name in the video game, yeah, you can see the surprise and shock. Yeah, that was a very good moment, and you knew it was going down. You completely knew it was going down like that as well. Josh, I'm obviously not going to come on Xbox. I'm currently streaming, but, you know, thanks for getting your shout out on here, MBK for life. On the horse in the snow, if you turn the camera, her face is facing, you can see it hits her in good detail. The only thing I didn't like is that we played Abby for a bit too long. See, now here's what's interesting for me. I actually kind of enjoyed the Abby parts a lot more, like I said, because her playstyle just suited things a lot better, you know, in my opinion. At the end, I hate Tommy, but in a good way. Yeah, but you know, he lost a lot as well. I don't understand why we were forced to play someone other than Ellie, because we needed to get that level of perspective. We needed to understand why, and I'm not mad at that as a choice. Noah Cadwell has the best review on the game. Thanks for shouting out someone else's YouTube while we're on mine, but you know, appreciate it. They're both as vengeful. Yeah, that's the point. That is the point. Here's the moment coming up on screen right here. Here's the moment. This is where they were hanging out before as well. We're slowly getting to it as well. They're both as vengeful. I think if Abby's part wasn't as long, we wouldn't have understood her perspective. Exactly, because for me, I didn't even get into Abby for the first hour or two because I was so pissed off at the fact that we had to play someone that had just killed our favorite character, you know? So we needed that time to really get around it. Yeah, some people were just like, okay, I get it. It was her dad that died and stuff. But for other people, it took a bit longer, and I think that's why they really did it. I feel like playing the game as Abby made it more entertainment. Ellie's section drags on a bit, and playing as Abby made it refreshing. Exactly. The game shouldn't have ended at the Bam scene, or at least made the fight scene at the end more meaningful, because the whole trip felt dragged out. I really liked the way they did the final end scene as well. I think that it was both of the fights between Abby and Ellie really made you like not want to do them, you know? Like, it made you really, like, you really didn't want to do it. I felt guilty every time we met one of the people that we killed as Ellie. Yeah, see, that's why they did it, man. That's why they did it. Joel decided to go with Abby without knowing anything about the group, but in part one, they would have shot. No, but this is it. He was just assuming that they were people traveling to Jacksonville anyway, because they probably heard about a settlement in the area, you know? The voice actor who plays Mel in The Last of Us Part 2 also did the voice for Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. We'll see that soon enough. Abby was not a good character or either bad. I mean, she was a great addition, and a questionable character. Can we have a live game suggestion in the last 10 minutes? Game suggestion for what? I mean, the schedule's already been worked out and stuff. One of my biggest issues was the fact that the Seraphite prophet woman was already dead. Yep, but I mean, she was a martyr because of that. That's sort of like the whole point, I guess. When you mentioned there not being a gym, I got so excited for you to see Abby's awesome gym. Yep, 100%. Your feelings fighting Boss Ellie was the same as mine. Yes, because it puts you in such a weird situation. Like on the one side of things, you kind of wanted to kill her. Like, do you know what I mean? But then on the other side of things, you're also remembering that it's Ellie. Like, you know? So it's a very tough situation. I like the two-finger thing with just to spit in our faces. Like, we can't even get revenge and even beat her to a pulp. Like, we lose our fingers. Yeah, but that was it. That was it. The only thing I'm pissed at is the ending with Ellie's thing. A lot of people have, yeah, she needed him to play guitar, but that's it. That's the cost of revenge, isn't it? That's the whole point in the, that's the whole point in this game. What did it cost you? You know, it's Thanos. It's like literally Thanos. What did it cost you? Everything. That is the point, man. That is the whole point. I don't know what to do anymore. We lost a great character and it felt so real. It did feel real. It felt like I lost a best friend. I still don't get why there was a sex scene in there. To show you the passion, the raw passion between those two people. To show you that, you know, it was also mainly to show you that Owen was kind of a dick, really, when you think about it. He wasn't caught between two women. That's not really what it came down to, man. He wanted all. He wanted it all, you know. He was still trying to hold Abby's hand and stuff and be like, oh, there's still a future for us despite getting another woman pregnant and shit, you know? Like it was showing you that Abby's been fucked over too and that the people in her life that she trusted left her as well. So it is what it is. This game's a masterpiece in my opinion. I felt like it improves on every aspect of the first game. It really does. Every time I saw Joel in a flashback, I broke. Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. Like, 100%. Like, Abby doesn't need a gym because her muscles were still big in the epilogue. Yeah, but she was just a military child, wasn't she? I think that was kind of like, that was another parallel that she had to Ellie in a way. Ellie was a part of the military in the DLC and stuff. And that's a good point as well. Abby gained a family member finally, like a real family member in Lev, you know? Which is something she had lost. So it is what it is. I like Manny when I met him properly, but when he spit on Joel's dead body, yeah, that was conflicting. Like, that was conflicting. No flashback is ever going to make me feel bad for Abby. Well, that's fair enough, you know? That's completely fair enough. You're allowed to feel like that. It absolutely will win Game of the Year. Haters are just going to be pissed. I think the more that haters fight it is, the more that the actual review people and stuff are going to vote for it. So it is what it is. The sound in this game was fantastic. Yeah, the sound in... we gotta watch it again. I'm sorry. We gotta watch it again. Let's just... I'm so glad we fucked up Nora, man. Look how she fucked up Tommy. Look at his leg, man. Yeah, 100%. I'll agree. Like I've said this as well. Just because people don't like aspects of this game or don't like the game, that doesn't automatically make them a hater. But I tell you what 100% does make you a hater is going to completely like bomb the reviews before everyone's even had enough 20 hours to play the game properly and stuff like that. And it's stuff like that will only help solidify it as becoming something like Game of the Year, in my opinion. 100%. I don't think Xbox will blow anything out of the water currently. Like what? Like what are they gonna do? Kill off Master Chief in the first in this new Halo game? You know, like how are they gonna do it, man? But that's we'll see. We'll see. I think many people dislike the game, but I think it will be Game of the Year. I completely agree. We've still got what? Cyberpunk is the only real contender left for this year, I think. 100% there's going to be a free part 3. This is a trilogy. This is 100% a trilogy. I appreciate your honesty and willing to try and understand the game. You've earned a new subscriber. Thank you very, very much. A sad, depressing game is not a bad game. Many masterpiece novels are sad and depressed. Exactly. And it wouldn't have stayed with you. Like, it wouldn't have stayed with you. Like, do you know what I'm saying? End Master Chief, enter a furry Master Chief instead. In the new Halo Infinite, we're actually going to play as Cortana. We do have Ghost, but I'm not sure if that will be Game of the Year. I don't think enough people are going to pick that up. It will be a contender, people are saying. I didn't get that impression from watching the stuff. You've seen my reactions on it. That's not me bad-mouthing it in any shape or form. That's not me bad-mouthing it in any shape or form. This music, man, it's so good. You know what? That's a funny point, right? That's a very, very funny point, right? I'm sorry to break this to most people, right? There's 2 ways that God of War goes in the next 2 games, right? There's literally 2 ways God of War goes. And I'm pretty sure that if we check the facts in the history of God of War, the likelihood is Kratos is going to die. The whole point, I'm sorry to make this about God of War right now, but the whole point in this most recent version of God of War is he is training his boy for the times that he's not around. He is training him how to be a god different to the other gods, right? But if we look at the story and the way that things go in the world of God of War, yeah, like, if we look at the way that it's gonna go, then 100%, most likely, it's going to end up being Atreus that kills him. Like, legit. Like, I can't see it playing out. He's Loki, for God's sake. Firstly, he's Loki. But mainly, it's the cycle. Kratos kills Zeus. There's a whole bunch of this going round and round in the thing. Exactly. And then what's going to happen? Kratos is going to die. But I don't think it will actually be Loki that does it. I think it will be Odin or something. And that gives us a perfect revenge story for Loki moving forward. You know? I think it will move forward. So that's how I think. I think they've set it up as if it's going to be... it's going to be Atreus that does it, but I think it will actually be someone like Odin that ends up killing Kratos, and then because of that we get maybe the 3rd game where we play as a grown version of Loki, and Loki brings on Ragnarok himself and ends up destroying all of the remaining gods. Like, I think that would be a very, very good way that they could do it. Like, I think that'd be a very good way that we could do it. I'm sorry that we've got to go through this one more time, you know? But yeah, exactly. I think it's the perfect way to set up maybe the story, but we're not here to talk about God of War at this point in time. But I can see that happening, man, and I think it will be a very, very good way to take it. And I bet they're pretty annoyed that Joel got killed in this game, you know, because they probably already had that stuff worked out, you know. They probably had all of that stuff worked out. But it is what it is. Yeah, there's so much, right? Like, look at how good this scene is. Look at the acting in this and stuff, man. Look at the acting in this scene. Look how much this hurts you. What do I like more, part 1 or part 2? I like them as a collection. I was lucky enough to play part 1 and then play part 2, which not a lot of people had that privilege, right? Not a lot of people had that privilege at all, you know? So for me, it was actually a very, very good situation, and I can't judge one against the other. And guess what? I don't need to. I literally don't need to. It's one big story. you know? So I don't have to judge either one. I mean, the writing isn't garbage though, is it? Like, the writing is not garbage at all. Like, the writing invokes a reaction from people. And that's what they came to do. So if you're mad at the game, then they've written it in a way that works well. Like, we can talk about things like the pacing. I feel like the pacing is a bit off key, but the writing does exactly what they wanted to do with it. If they got you mad or upset about it, that's because that's what they were going for. If it seems like things came out of the blue, that's because that's what they were going for. They really delivered everything they wanted to deliver, you know? Exactly. It explains how revenge is meant to suck. Yeah, completely. Like I'm saying, you can have problems with the pacing and the way it was delivered, but I think that the writing overall was very, very well done, because it got you in the mind state of not just one person, but two people, which is very difficult to do, and especially to introduce you into it. Like, I like the story a lot, but I would have preferred, if the writing makes you happy or sad, that's not exactly, it's the complete opposite. Thank you very much, man. That's what I'm saying here. There are a lot of plot holes if you look beyond the sheen of the graphics, acting, sound, and gameplay. I'll have to assess that when I go through it again. It's garbage because Joel is a smart character. You're missing the point, though. You're missing the point. He's grown soft in over 4 years. He's become a family man again. He's not Joel on the road anymore. He's not always putting his worst thoughts and feelings into people. He trusted Abby, like, because he's trusted the people around him. That's what they're showing you, you know? Every story has plot holes. Yeah, they do. The writing's perfect. Don't mistake bad with sad. That's a good point as well. This shouts at you, this is The Last of Us when Joel dies as they get comfortable. Exactly. And it's a good point that Talon put across earlier. Gamers love being overdramatic. Bam. Trash and garbage in an overdramatic reaction. The story is great and the writing is complex. See, this is why I'm glad. Like, I'm very glad that, like, the channel originally started with doing movie reviews and stuff like that. So I'm very good at looking at stories and stuff, you know, and being able to break down and give you a very honest opinion on what I think is good and what I think is bad. And I think I'm very good at getting that across to people as well. Abby's the same age as Ellie. Yeah, exactly. Like, I believe at the moment Ellie was about to kill Abby, then seeing the flashback of Joel dead at that moment when she let Abby go and breaks down crying, I believe she forgives Joel. Yeah, it's a very good point. The story is great. It makes perfect sense for you to play both. Jacksonville is set up to be a welcoming town, and even if they don't talk about the wolf shoot on sight, but Jackson doesn't, because they try and let people work together. Exactly. They really, really did. They weren't a big military city or anything like that, you know? What they were doing is they were bringing across that whole welcoming vibe, that community vibe, like a real thriving community, a welcoming community, you know? And I think they done that in a very, very good way. The writing was beautiful. They used so many reoccurring symbols and themes to help deliver the story. Yes, the mirror imagery from this to the first game was done perfectly. Like, you know, if you want me to believe Joel's lost all instinct, he was under pressure. How do you not see that? He was running away from a massive horde of people, you know, a massive horde of infected. Do you know what I'm saying? Bam, do you have any other creative endeavors? If so, has the story of the game inspired you in any way? All this story has inspired me to do is be a better person. You know? You know, to be more understanding, to be more empathetic to people around me and stuff, you know? And to never judge a book by the size of its arms. You know? Like, that's how I feel. Like, I think it was very easy to look at Abby and think that she was this big, unemotional hulk of a character. You know? And that's not me being rude about her physicality or anything like that, but I think it was very easy to look at her and just think she was some military scrub, and I shouldn't care about what her story is. She's living good with others and stuff, you know? But ultimately, what was really great about all of that is we got inside her mind, you know? It did it a very good way. Like, it did it very, very good way. Hope you're not too stressed with the stream, Bam. Thanks for the therapeutic discussion. I'm not stressed at all. I'm a little bit defensive at times. Why do you introduce your names as you're escaping a horde of infected? Because they, like I'm saying yet again, they weren't thinking about it in any shape or form. Like, they were in a situation where it's like, oh God, we've just sort of saved each other's lives. Nice to meet you. Here's an introduction. I'm Joel. What's your name? That would happen. Like, imagine you're walking down the street, right, and some gang it starts kicking the shit out of you and they mug you, yeah? Then two people come out of nowhere, they fucking scare that gang off and stuff, right? And they're like, oh, I'm gonna call the police or whatever, so on and so forth. Like, do you know what I mean? They're like, you're gonna be like, thanks so much. And then they're gonna be like, I didn't even catch your name. What is your name again? Like, thank you so much for looking out for me. Like, you know? Like, I don't know, man. Like it's the easiest way to form a connection with anyone. But exactly, Joel's in his feelings at this point in time as well, because he was under pressure, not under pressure as well, but he's trying to be a better person than he has been for the past 20 years of his life when he's been on the run. Like, you know, like he was trying to change as well, and ultimately, as Talon pointed out earlier, Bill's advice finally caught up with him, man. Caring for people will only leave you in one way. So yeah, there's a lot going on and stuff like that. Thank you, Pietro. Thank you for being a part of this tonight. I hope you have the good rest of your day and so on and so forth. So yeah, massive thank you to everyone that's been a part of this as well. I'm not stopping. I'm just taking a second out to say, hey, you're lovely, beautiful people, and I hope you're enjoying this. But yeah, Last of Us 2 made me question good, evil, and everything in between, which is what they wanted to do. Which is literally what they wanted to do. The music's great. I can't even hear it properly. I can just hear it a little bit through my headphones at the moment. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, I'm gonna kick back for a second. What was your favorite part in the game? I'm sure everyone has a part in the game which really, like, knocked him back. It's sad to see how many people have missed the narrative points in this game, although slowly people are realizing in their second and third place. I want a prequel with Joel and Tommy during those years before the meeting. Yeah, I want them. I literally want a game. This is what I'm saying. I don't want it to be The Last of Us Part 3, but I want it to be like a segue. And I want it to be like, it goes, we start at the point, right, just after, right? You see that photo right there? See that photo right there? I'm just gonna pause it, right? For me, the perfect segue game, because I know we're not getting DLC or stuff, right? But you know where the title card goes for The Last of Us Part 1? I want the game from there, from what just happened there up until where it says 20 years later. That's what I want. That's really what I want, man. Thank you so much, Brett, as well, of course. Thank you so much. People in the chat, throw your hearts up for Brett. Show him some appreciation right here. People, look at this situation. Look at Joel's house. This is not Joel from the first game. It's such a redundant argument at this point because we're not playing the first game anymore. We've moved on. Look at this situation. Look at this house. Look at how he's living. Look at everything around here for a second, man. He was happy. He was trusting people again. He was putting his heart on his sleeve for once. You know? That's how I feel. What am I eating? I'm eating chocolate. I'm just letting you get your thoughts and feelings out for a second. Thank you. Dad Joel is the best Joel. That's the whole point in the first game. That's a very good point, man. Thank you very much, right? I might even skip through a little bit because this is like an 8-hour cutscene thing, right? So let's see if I can get to the next flashback. Where is it? Where is it? Thank you, Python, as well. Yeah, my favorite part was fighting Ellie because it was like, as mad as I was at fighting Ellie, I was so proud of all of the things she had learned and put into her actions, you know? We could really see everything she had been taught was finally coming out. And that's what made her such a difficult villain to go against, a difficult boss to fight against, you know, ultimately. Exactly, character development. What you've got to understand is that for once Joel was back in, and hey, this is another thing as well that you have to realize. Joel wasn't the best dad before that as well. He was always working and everything else, you know. So Ellie was his second chance. When he sees someone around the same age as Ellie in trouble like Abby was, he's not thinking that she could be a problem. You know, he wasn't thinking that she had come there to kill him, like anything like that, you know. So it was really, thank you, Reginald, as well. Thank you so much. It really was like, yeah, like look at this version of Joel in comparison, man. This is someone that's finally got his daughter back, and not only that, a second chance at life. So you can't be mad at him for that at all. Anytime someone donates, if you're new to the chat or anything like that, please do throw the hearts up and everything. Show them some support and love, man, because they make this exactly. The mods know what to do, man. The mods know what to do, and they shall lead you. How bold would it have been if Naughty Dog had made a choice at the end where you control who you fight and someone was to die? I mean, this is what I'm saying about it would be great. It would be great to have this game re-released with alternate endings and things changing things, like, do you know what I mean? My favorite part was when you did a 360 from not liking Abby to really liking her. I was more in Abby's corner. Like, do you know what I mean? I was more in Abby's corner by the end of the game. Like, completely. I really was. In that flashback, he seemed so happy and different in a way the part 1 never captured, and that was valuable for me. Yeah, I agree with you, man, and that's what the beauty of it was. Yeah, the museum is one of my favorite parts. Thank you, Ethan, as well. Thank you, Python. Thank you, everybody. Keep those hearts going as well. Big thank you to everyone. As always, I'm still so awkward about taking donations. It still weirds me out. It still massively weirds me out. But thank you all so much. I think Last of Us 3 should let Ellie find happiness and get all the person she loves back. Ellie deserves at least. No, but this is it. I agree with you, but this story shows you about life. Like life even now, right? Happiness is not a continual state. It's moments that you can hold on to, right? It's moments that keep you going through the bad times and stuff, yeah? Life at this point in time, look at what we're in 2020 currently, yeah? Look at everything that's going on and stuff. Like, even in a situation, yeah, where we have, like, you know, mainly most people are in like, you know, first world Western society and things like that, right? Your day-to-day problems really aren't that bad a lot of the time. That's not me taking away from anyone's depression or anything like that, or anything at all, right? But the whole point is, what would happen if all of this collapsed? And we've seen how people act. We've seen how people act when things start to fall apart and stuff, you know? So I don't think that it's all about Ellie getting her happily ever after. I think this is one of the things that this game looks at overall and really does well. And they done it in the first game and they done it in this game yet again. What they've done perfectly is really showed you that life can be cruel and horrible, but it's about these moments. It's about these moments that we get to see. It's about the time that your dad taught you how to swim or something, or took you to a museum, or the little bit of time out that you take to look at just a deer or something, like just these moments that you have. So when you get to a bad point in time, you have something that you can hold on to and remember. Happiness is fleeting at best, you know? A permanent state of happiness is complete enlightenment. But like, hey, how many people get to full enlightenment by the time that they die? Like, it takes years. The only people in a lot of the time that you ever see really being happy with life are the people that are closest to death. Because it's the old people that are really, really, really okay with dying because they've realized that they've lived a long enough life. You know, they've had all of their moments. They're happy. They've made their peace within themselves. It's one of the few times a game treats you like an adult, and it's sad that people weren't ready for that. I think a big message is that Ellie only plays the first bit of the song because if I were to lose you, like, and in the end she did. Yeah, I think there's a reason she can't get past that song, and it's really good that we don't actually see her play it in full because it's still too much of a hard memory for her to get through. Everyone should check out the spoiler cast on Kinda Funny with so on and so forth. It's awesome and informative. Yep, we've seen that many a time. Many people have suggested this as well. I don't want part 3. I don't want to be depressed if Ellie dies in part 3. Yeah, but at the same time, we don't know. And this is why I said it would be good for part 3 to sort of maybe explore other people's stories. I've mentioned this before. What's going on in China currently in the world of The Last of Us? What's going on in Europe or Africa? You know, there's so much more that they could put across. Ellie bit Abby, but she didn't get infected and she immune. No, now see, this is something, right? I don't think it works like that completely. Ellie will die in part 3 to get a vaccine. I mean, the odds are that that's likely the way the story's gonna go. But yeah, we could really look at a situation where it's like, what if there's someone else that's immune? What if the third story introduces someone else that's immune? What if the whole story suddenly becomes about Ellie being able to deliver someone in the same way that Joel did, and ultimately her life does have meaning, but she's not the one that dies? You know? There's a lot of stuff going on like that. There's a lot of stuff, like, if they make a part 3, I want it to be about redemption. Look, right, the director might say there's not going to be a part 3, but when a game sells out this quickly and stuff, you best believe that Sony will be on their case to make a part 3. When you're releasing a TV series around this game, then yeah, 100% they're gonna make a part 3. The money rolls in, baby, and that's what this is all about. Yes, it's about creating a great game and things like that, but you know what? It's about making money, like, ultimately. And that's why people are pissed off, because they spent money on this game and they're not happy with it and stuff. But really, if you don't think that they're not going to tackle a third part in the franchise, then you're kidding yourselves. Like, hey, the people that did Watchmen said, oh, we're only going to do one series. Guess what they're talking about now? The second series. Why? Because money. Like, we didn't think we were going to, like, we didn't think, right, that we were going to get Skate 4. You know? We didn't think we were going to get Skate 4. Guess what? The second that Tony Hawk's remasters get announced, yeah, and people are like, oh, I want to throw my money into the remasters, guess what happens? We get a fucking announcement for Skate 4. We don't get no gameplay footage or nothing like that. We literally just get an announcement that Skate 4 is coming out. Why? Because EA loves money, bro. EA loves money more than they love making good games a lot of the time and stuff, you know? So at the end of the day, don't count out the fact that they will not be returned. They will return to this. It might take them some time, but they will definitely return to this. Like, in the first game, Marlene said this is the only chance to have a cure. In part 3, like, yeah, but we also heard that there were others immune, didn't we? Like, we definitely heard that there was more. See, there we go. This is what I'm saying. Neil said he didn't know if the next game would be part 3 or another game, so a part 3 is coming at some point. Of course it is. Of course it is. My thoughts on the upcoming HBO series. I've seen some incredible fan castings for the HBO series. I have no problems with them turning it into a TV show. If you're going to get anybody to talk about, like, making a show, is HBO can do that, man. Don't count HBO out. literally don't count HBO out at all, right? Like, legit, like, they are very good at delivering what they want to deliver. And so I would not count that out at all. Like, you think it's not going to be personal, but they're going to take you through all of the beats in a different manner. They're going to make it so it works. They're not going to just commission something for the sake of commissioning it. And you could work with anyone on this, right? And you've chosen to work with HBO. That in itself says a lot. That says a lot. So I would not count this show out at all. You don't know where it's going to take place. You don't know what part in the timeline they're going to hit us with. We literally don't know what we're going to get. And it's all, I believe it's already been confirmed that Gustavo's doing the soundtrack for it anyway. They're working closely with the people that actually made this game what it is. So do not count that out in any shape or form at all, man. I'm sure that we'll get a free version on the PS5. You know, I'm sure we'll get a free version, of course. They will find a way to completely make it so it's just an upgrade for people, you know, because they're not they love money, but at the same time they're gonna just want to show off what they can do on a new on the next gen even. And on top of that, what they're gonna want to do is hold off how long they have to do it until they release a third game anyway, right? So I wouldn't worry so much about that at all. You know, we're going to see this game with full-on ray tracing and everything else, and so I'm sure that will be perfect, and I'm sure they really, really, really won't make it non-accessible, you know? Was that Gustavo with the banjo? I actually went up to him and like had a little chill with him, because I could tell he was a chilled guy, you know? But yeah, let's talk about the final part of the game. We're coming into the last sort of half. I didn't even think I was going to go longer than an hour. I was going to go for like an hour and a half. So I feel like we can sort of wind down now. I feel like a lot of people have got their points across. I'm sorry if I didn't read it out, if I didn't read out your thing, but that's why I put everyone's opinions on screen today. So I hope that works out. I've tried my best. Literally, I'm really happy to see what a great response we've had. Like, do you know what I mean? Hey, look, a lot of people I personally gave up on Game of Thrones by season 3. I didn't think it was that good a TV show anyway. However, Westworld, incredible. The Wire, incredible. Sopranos, incredible. Ballers is alright. Curb Your Enthusiasm, incredible. There's been many a great TV show throughout history that was awesome, you know, and HBO usually are behind a lot of it, so don't count them out. Don't count them out. Making a third is an opportunity to screw it up and make it even better, exactly, and they won't do it until they are sure that they want to get it right. I missed this scene. I actually missed out this little scene. That's unfortunate. There's something that I haven't seen in the game yet. I don't remember doing this. I don't think I did do this. Breaking Bad is not HBO, but it's a good example of very good television. Yeah, of course I watched Breaking Bad. Now, the hype around Breaking Bad made sense to me. I did not love Game of Thrones overall. It felt a little bit like just most of the time I care a lot. What HBO do very, very well, yeah? What they do very, very well is they get you involved in the dialogue, right? More than the action and things like that or whatever. And what I just think they didn't do very good at the start of Game of Thrones is they were like, winter's coming, winter's coming, winter's coming. And winter just kept on coming and it didn't come. And I gave up on them, man. I literally gave up on them. Eventually it did come once I stopped watching it. But hey, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It is what it is, my friends. It is what it is. But yeah, I guess we'll sort of wind down and wind it down right here. I hope you've enjoyed this stream as far as it goes. The music's been pumping. Not been pumping, but I listen to this so much throughout the day because it's so chill. Like, this music is so chill. By the end of the game, I didn't want to kill Abby because I kind of wanted it to be a rescue mission as well, you know? But I love the museum scene, and especially inside the spaceship and stuff. Yeah, it was great. It was great. All of it was great. I will update you. I'm going to take a couple days off. I'm going to give you my final thought review. That will be up this week for The Last of Us Part 2. That will be coming out this week completely. And just final thoughts as far as what's going on moving forward. Thank you everyone that's popped around and been around. You've all been great. I think we've done very well of keeping this like a positive chat as well. I haven't seen anyone really arguing with people and stuff like that. I think everyone's had a chance to sort of get their opinions across, and I think we tackled this in a very, very good manner. Exactly, Simon. So, as I've said once or twice before, when I return to streaming, which will be in a few days, I'm guessing, I wanted to take off a week. I really did. But then I realized that it's the start of July. And then I realized that Ghost will be out in 17 days or something once we hit the 1st of July. So I don't have that long to get through Horizon Zero Dawn, right? So, my thoughts and feelings are this. I'm going to return with I'm going to return at 7:30. I feel like 7:30s have been a good time for me, you know? It means I get off a little bit earlier and stuff like that. We're going to return with 7:30 streams at British summertime of Horizon Zero Dawn. But around 1 p.m., maybe 12 p.m. for me, I'm going to start playing through the Uncharted series in the daytimes, you know? So, we'll get through 1, we'll get through 2, we'll get through 3. Then we'll probably be up to finishing Horizon Zero Dawn, and we will also be having the release of Ghost, you know? So, what I think will work well is we'll get through most of the Uncharted series, and we'll get through Horizon Zero Dawn, then we'll be playing Ghost, and then I'll go into Uncharted 4, and then once I'm through Uncharted 4, I think what will be perfect, and as a reward for everyone for making it through that much streams with me, that we shall finally attempt to tackle Bloodborne. I'm going to at least give it a go. I don't know how long I'm going to play it, but I'm going to give it a go, because a lot of people have requested that. And when I start playing that, I'll figure out what will be the daytime stream as well. And moving forward, what we will do is we'll have our Friday feedback chats where I don't stream on a Friday because I need days out. When I'm playing through all of these games, it's a lot. Streaming can be very stressful and stuff, you know? It can be very, very stressful. There is a reason to play the old games. There's a massive reason to play the old games, because if it's made by Naughty Dog, then there's going to be story. There's going to be reasons that they've done this, right? So, there's legit a reason for me to make it into my daytime streams. It only means I'll be streaming maybe 1 hour up to 2 hours max and stuff. But yes, I think I should give it the time it deserves and understand the story as well. I'm not going to be playing Persona 5. A lot of people have said play it. I'm not interested. I'm not interested at this point in time, and it's something that's going to be very time consuming. But literally, there is just so much that I have to get through, and we want to also make space for the games that are coming out new as well, and we're also just trying to get through the most requested exclusives throughout history, you know? All of the games that people say you must play these games before we get to PS5. You know, so I'm trying my best to work it out and get it all doing in a good way and stuff. But it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult to just get through so much titles. But you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sure that the gameplay is going to be clunky, but that's why it's going to be a daytime stream and stuff. You know, Horizon is a long game, which is why we need to make sure we've got enough time to get through that and stuff. But yeah. Ultimately, I think we're at a point now where people watch because they want to see how I react to the game more than the game that we play. So I hope that you do join me, you know? I hope that you do join me in continuing to do this. And yes, we will be covering some more live stream events as they come out. We've got a fair few to look forward to next month. Obviously, we've got the Xbox Series X event that's going to be very fun to cover. Considering that most people that watch these streams seem to be clearly PlayStation fans, it's going to be a very interesting situation. So yeah, that is it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this format. We can definitely do these moving forwards. You know, we can completely keep doing these moving forward. When we get to the end of the game and stuff, it is very, very different to my actual reviews. So I'm happy to do this, and it's a great way of getting people's opinions out and stuff. So yeah. Thank you all. Thank you, Miguel, as well. Thank you so much. in there just before we kindly finished as well. So thank you so much. Massive thank you to everybody. Here we go. I've got to see where